Gun violence remains a pressing issue in Aurora. While resources are being poured into preventing youth violence, critics say the effort is missing the Latino community. CBS 4's Marissa Armas with more now on the complaints and the challenges.
Oh my God.
Days after two shootings happened at two different Aurora high schools in November, leaders held multiple meetings to address the problem. But there were very few Latino parents in the crowd.
We all students fear for our safety.
But that lack of participation concerns some community members, given that police data shows young Hispanic Latino males are leading much of the crime. Last year, 125 juvenile Hispanic males were victims of assault, compared to 101 juvenile black male victims. 93 victims of gun crimes were young Hispanic males, more than 51 young black males. Young Hispanic males also saw 14 juvenile assault arrests.
Regularly, there are very little Latinos who go to these events or reunions.
Judith Padilla is one of few Latino parents who actively attends youth violence events.
I think a lot of the time we are scared because of our legal status.
While Judith puts her fears aside to bring her voice to the forefront, she says there are many other reasons why Latino parents are hesitant to address the escalating violence, from language barriers to racism to mistrust with law enforcement. And anti-gang activist Francisco Gallardo agrees.
One is they're either overworked or working a lot, or they just have a fear of being engaged in the system. You know, there's the issue of being able to be bilingual and speak to the kids and their families, but it's also to understand the culture that we're dealing with.
City officials say another barrier the Latino population faces is the lack of understanding of how the American system works.
Coming into the United States, they're now having to deal with a very different law enforcement process, a very different social service system, an educational system that leads to the lack of being able to connect or understand, or even some level of fear in reaching out to some of these organizations.
Advocate Charlotta Evans says while the decades-long work of black leaders has been effective, it can still be a challenge reaching the Latino community.
We were referred to 4 families, and with those 4 families, the language barrier was so to where we weren't able to assist those teens. We would have to contact the youth in order to talk with the mom, and vice versa with the mother or the father. And it was just almost close to impossible to find them in the same place.
If there's a language barrier, that means the organization then has to invest in a translator. But culturally, there's often a disconnect.
It can be very much of a barrier of understanding if even those parents want us to help their children.
The Struggle of Love Foundation is one of several groups at the forefront of the issue. While the foundation acknowledges there are difficulties reaching Latinos, they're starting to break through some barriers through building relationships with Latino-led organizations.
Our organization, I think, has really been able to, knock down some of those stereotypes and some of those things that lead to mistrust, because they see us doing so many different things for everyone in the community, including Brown.
Who wants to give up their guns when everybody else is running around with one?
Historically, a lot of the people leading the conversations on Aurora youth violence have been black, and many of the resources have been geared towards the black community, even on a city level.
You know, as a society, we've been having a lot of conversation around racial issues, and I think we just need to ensure that we're expanding those conversations to include other ethnicities within our community, to include the Latino community.
Because right now it has a very black and white binary, which is good. The black youth and black families deserve it, but so do the Latino community as well.
While outreach to the Latino community begins with language, Gallardo says there's much more to reaching this disconnected group.
Having a flyer in Spanish is not enough. You have to be bicultural. You have to speak to our values in order to reach that community.
I'm Marissa Armas, covering Colorado First.